10/29, Saturday 2016. Wanted to talk about several different topics, relative topics, topics that are prescient and applicable for what is going on right now. All of you know that I've spoken very recently about VB. I outlined what was going on, what the underlying theme was, and I think it's non-coincidental that within that same time frame, within the last couple of days, we have Bitcoin spiking up well over 700 points. In fact, let me see where it's at here if I can. Come on. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get. It's like it's 710, 709. Hold on. Yeah, 710. 710.46, and it's been ripping last few days. I do not think that those 2 points are non-coincidental, because Bitcoin, if you look at all the markets today, everything's manipulated. I'm sure that most of you out there are well aware of it, and you can never trust a certain price or an indice or a market in general. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is not controlled. I know they've had their hiccups. I know that they've had their scandals. I know that they've had their pressures being applied to them, Mount Gox and other types of things like that. But the market itself is not manipulated. You can't fake a Bitcoin. You can't manufacture a Bitcoin other than the mining process. So in that way, it's very legitimate, and it's spiking. It's at 710, and seems to be going pretty strong. Also, I want to talk about some of these accidents that have been happening. You had a head-on collision of a train, I think in Chicago or outside of Chicago. You had, I think it was Mike Pence, the vice presidential candidate under Trump. I think his plane skid off the runway a few days ago. And then you had another jumbo jet on another at another airport that burst into flames. What I'm hearing is that all of these circumstances are manipulated. All of these circumstances are the result of temper tantrums that these Illuminati people are throwing right now. You have to understand, as I just detailed in the last post, they act very immaturely. They act like 2-year-olds. When they don't get their way, they freak out and start breaking things around them. They throw a tantrum. I mean, you saw what the comment was to me. I was not even going to post it because of what it said. Only because it might offend some people. It might not be comfortable for some people. But I said, you know what, I'm just going to post it. Everybody has to understand what I'm discussing precisely, poignantly, and everyone has to feel what I'm feeling to a certain degree, because we're all on the site. So, Illuminati will throw temper tantrums if they don't get their way. And all of those incidents, the train crash, Mike Pence, and the other plane explosion or fire that was actually in a plane on a runway in some airport in America, those were all provocations by them. I believe that the Mike Pence airplane scenario was a cover. Because if you get Mike Pence involved, then it makes it look like all of these instances that are happening are random and they're not targeted. So it adds a little cover, it adds a little legitimacy to them. But that is what is happening. As I've stated in the past, I predicted that the violence was going to increase, the cop killings, presumed or non-presumed. We don't know if they're false flags. I don't get intel on every single one of them. But the numbers have been increasing and increasing quite dramatically. I believe that all sorts, all derivatives of violence or acting out are going to increase. What I'm hearing about this election also is that certain things are not going well for them. I've expressly stated that, or everybody probably knows this, but I've stated it in addition to Hillary Clinton's their girl, but they are having problems. I don't know what they are. All I'm hearing is that there are circumstances that are not going the way they want it. And I don't think it's just the vote. I don't think it's just the popular vote. I think there's other circumstances beyond what's happening there. And as I get the intel, I'll fill you guys in. The point that I want to make, the underlying theme, the bottom line, is that the next couple weeks through and immediately after the election, from all the indications that I'm getting right now, I think it's going to be extremely hectic. I think there's going to be another uptick in markets like Bitcoin, or downticks in possibly the Dow Jones or other markets, Chinese markets. I just think that there's going to be volatility, tumultuousness, and they're going to meet circumstances that they can't get their way with. And that's already happening right now. They're not getting their way with certain things, and they're freaking out. And they're acting out. Remember, they're throwing tantrums. And I think that that trend is going to continue. I think it's going to increase in intensity and number of occurrences. What my message to you guys is, just be aware of it. You know, what was it? What did I hear the other day? The prepared mind, I don't know. Something that the prepared mind favors the individual. Something along those lines. I can't recall exactly what it was, but I think that's what it was. The prepared mind favors the individual, something along those lines. So what I'm trying to do is give you guys a heads up on what is happening so that you have your radar open up, functioning, so you know what the theoretic or real outcomes are going to be. Again, it's going to be tumultuous. I think that there's going to be a lot of hysteria. I think that, and it's already showing. I just think it's going to increase. Okay, I probably babbled enough this morning, but again, I'm trying to test this new video system out. It seems to be working very well. I wanted to post this in the PV section and fill you guys in a little bit more than just the general posts. Okay. Saturday, 10/29/2016. As always, thanks, guys. Stay safe.